Hey Run Junkies, welcome to Dots and Donuts, my Run Disney inspired weekly series as we get ready for the perfect year of training. And as of the minute this episode posts, Run Disney's 2022 Wine and Dine Half Marathon Weekend has opened. Even though I haven't yet completed 22.4 miles, I want to fast forward a little bit to next week and share my plan and how I'm going to go from Wine and Dine to Dopey. We have 8.5 weeks in between events, so let's get to it. Stick around. Okay, a common question that I get, it comes up all the time, especially for those new to Run Disney, is how do you go from Wine and Dine to Dopey? Actually, more popular is from Dopey to Princess, but we'll get to that later. How do you train? How do you recover? What are all the things to think about? Well, first off, I like to remind myself that Wine and Dine is a perfect dress rehearsal for the January marathon weekend, okay? Regardless of what races you're doing across both, whatever combination that you're doing between the two weekends. If you run 3 races at Wine and Dine though, that is a perfect setup for the Dopey Challenge. You have multiple early mornings in a row. You see how the races work from transportation to the expo, and you get a really good idea of what marathon weekend will bring. I don't always bring my A game to the running side of Wine and Dine, all right? I would rather hold back and enjoy the ride, especially this year with Dopey on the horizon. The big fish in this pool is Dopey. It's not Wine and Dine. Training post Wine and Dine should first start with recovery then. So listen to your body, rehydrate, and rest first and foremost. Any Run Disney weekend takes a lot out of me no matter how well I take care of myself during the event. It's travel, it's early mornings. For me, it's a 2-hour time shift that really messes with my system. And it's still a running event, no matter how easy I take it. So priority 1, all right, take stock in the first week. How does everything feel? Everything is optional and should be very low intensity and volume. Walking during this first week might be better than running. Taking it easy right after Wine and Dine, even for a couple of weeks, will pay off as we get closer to marathon weekend. I've already had my big Dopey Challenge mock or simulation week, link above. So the most daunting part of training is out of the way. For the next 8 weeks though, I still have a lot of running plus the holidays. That's all crazy time. So let me break down the next couple of months in a few bigger chunks, okay? After I get back from Wine and Dine, like I said, the focus is recovery and rest, rebuilding, and Thanksgiving holiday, okay? I host my family for the weekend, so we add an element to an already full calendar. By the time Thanksgiving rolls around, the goal for me is to be pretty much back at full strength how I was feeling as I was going into my mock weekend. One thing that happens during Wine and Dine though is the time change. Daylight savings time ends. As someone who prefers standard time to daylight savings though, I enjoy this shift back to more light in the morning, which is going to affect my morning runs. But with that comes darker evenings. As part of my training plan, I have 2-a-days that include morning runs and then long brisk walks in the afternoon or evening. By the end of November, those afternoon evening walks get up to an hour in length. So the time shift is another variable I'm going to have to take into account. I'm going to have to carve out that time for those afternoon walks, and that will pay off because Dopey is about time on your feet, and the more walking I can get in, the better prepared I'm going to be. I know this from past experience. November is also a streaker month through Run the Edge, so I have the added motivation to log a mile every day for 30 days. Thanksgiving weekend, I do have my second and last 4-hour run, so I'll have to plan around my family being here and other duties, but looking that far ahead right now, before I even go to Wine and Dine, allows me to kind of reschedule and move things around if I have to. The long runs up to this point where I am right now in my training have felt really good, and I'm pleasantly surprised with how my training is going so far. I wasn't expecting to feel this good. So once we get past Thanksgiving, we're in December, after which we start looking at taper, basically. Training volume starts dropping off a little bit after Thanksgiving. I have a couple more runs between 3 and 4 hours, then long runs drop down to what will feel like nothing. December, with the holidays and coming travel, make the shift away from long runs quite a bit easier, which is good because we have the shortest daylight hours of the year at this point. Once we get to the holidays, Christmas, New Year's, strength work drops out completely. Cross training is limited to easy and short efforts, and total volume amounts to an average about 45 minutes per day in the week leading up to Dopey. Now, I will be heading down to Florida early again this year, like I did last year, to spend time with my family for the holidays. With an extra week in South Florida before Dopey, I'm gonna have time to relax and recharge before the whirlwind of marathon weekend. The hope is to really have nothing to do that week, like actually take a vacation. That's the hope. And that's really how the next 8.5 weeks are gonna play out. Recover physically and mentally from Wine and Dine, rebuild to the big miles one more time before tapering back down during the holiday season. Not much left now. That is about it for me today. But before I go, I want to thank all of you who donated and supported my perfect year journey so far. With your amazing help, we were able to raise $1,786 and leading the fundraising efforts for Sophie and Madigan's playground by almost double. I'm speechless. I couldn't have done that without your kindness and generosity, and I cannot thank you enough. There are still so many ways you can support these efforts, though, including a birthday fundraiser coming up after I get back from Wine and Dine. So please check out the description for more information about November's fundraising efforts and charity spotlights. Team MSAA for the Dopey Challenge is still open, as well as efforts for Sophie and Madigan's Playground for Princess Half Marathon Weekend, and Kellsie's Hope for Springtime Surprise. I'm so honored to be partnering with all of these amazing charities. Thank you so much for watching. And remember, if you see me at Wine and Dine, please say hello. It's one of my favorite parts of these weekends when I get to see all of you face to face. Leave thoughts in the box below, like, subscribe, and share. And until next time, remember, you have no limits. Happy running.